So going across the bottom, Kirk, were you using a 60-degree grind?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 6 degree. I mean, and there again, you can do it with a typical swept back grind. Um, one of the things, where are we at? We're over there. Let's go over here. Is relieve a whole bunch of the heel when you get to the inside of your bowl. And it doesn't necessarily mean the top part of your bowl, depending on how big it is, but definitely when you start to make the curve. Otherwise, this back end will leave little crush marks as it goes in. So if you get rid of quite a bit of the heel, this is down to about an eighth of an inch maybe at the nose. It doesn't really matter. I see a lot of people, they must change their jig to be able to grind this whole thing around so it all looks pretty and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I don't really care what it looks like on the side. The nose is where it's at. So,
Right.
just get rid of some of the heel versus the 60 degree. You put them side by side, maybe looking down. Oops, can even bring it up close and personal.
There we go.
Too up close and personal. So if you took all three and put them side by side, swept back 60, straight wing 60, and the 40. This gets ground. This gets ground on the grinder. If you'd like, I can show you. It's very simple to do. And
Yeah, sure.
these people say you cannot do this. Well, um, I was also in a class with Rudy Lopez, which is actually would be a good
Yeah,
one. We could
go ahead.
put that in the chat as well. If you go over to rudolphlopez.com, he has a little PDF that you can print out. It gives you a setup block for your grinder. It also shows you the two positions on the one-way Varigrind to do the 40-degree and the 60-degree grind, all with one jig.
Cool.
Now, those purists say you can't do the 40-degree grind, and I'm like, I have yet to be anywhere where I could actually take one of mine along and hand it to, the Stuart Baddies or one of them and say, well, how am I doing on my freehand grinding? And
Right.
he'd probably say, oh, you're doing a wonderful job. And well, that's because it's
Right.
not freehand. So let's jump over there. I did not mark the a line where the other
Look at
60
this.
degrees at. So let's start out with the normal one. That's where it's set. That was the last thing I sharpened.
Pay attention, Brenda.
I'm not using I sort of have, I shouldn't say I've given up on the Wolverine system. The platform that Stuart Batty has, I bought this many years ago down at SWAT. They were whenever Woodworkers Emporium
Oh yeah.
was sort of getting rid of his line of stuff, so to speak. So I bought the platform there, which they're worth their weight in gold as far as I'm concerned. That's the platform to have if you're going to do any amount of platform grinding. This is the woodcut system on the right. Once again, it was on sale. And I do like it better than the Wolverine system for a couple simple reasons. One, if you want to move it, this one has little teeth on the back of it. So you loosen this up and you can move it one tooth at a time, basically one tooth at a time to change whatever it is you want to change. Now, like I say, I went from the Wolverine system to this. So I still had the Varigrind. And it actually has, in mine, there's a line, there's scribe line there. There's also another scribe line because I was moving them back and forth between the two. I picked the short one, didn't I? Yes, I did. When the
And
tools
that's
get
the
short
very
enough,
grind one.
Yeah, this is the normal one-way one. It still fits in the pocket of the woodcut one. I mean, it still works.
The true grind system. It's called the true grind system. Yes.
So the 40 degree, you should be able to see it. In order to sharpen that, I mean, if you're really super fussy about, is this truly 40 degrees back here? I don't know. Every once in a while I measure it just to see how bad I'm getting. One thing is you want it back. If you're going to go in one direction or the other, make it more of a longer sweep going back, not shorter sweep, so it's standing more up.
Hold it down
Up.
towards the grinder body.
There you go.
So like I say, I sharpen it quick, and then we'll grind it. All I'm doing, I go over about 90 degrees, so it's sitting flat. I wiggle it back and forth. That will keep the wings straight. Roll up over the nose. Same thing on the other side. And that's all there is to sharpen it. There's none of this over here on the platform because like I say, this one I ground on the platform tonight before I started. I can do one side pretty good. The other side, not so good. Primarily probably because I'm right-handed, not left-handed. But we can stick this in the same jig. Like I said, it would be better if I have marks on the side of this because I'm too lazy to. It's nice they put a scale on the side of it, but there's no little pointer or anything like that going across the scale. And it's like, the scale could be over here on the side. It would make more sense to me, but nothing that a Sharpie won't take care of. See how far back we got to go. This would get rid of some of the back of the heel as well at that point. But we had to go long ways. I think it was about 110. To me, this is just more control of what I'm doing. So I got
Amen.
nice straight wings. Like I say, I need to put a mark on there so that I can set it the same every time. This way I get nice straight wings, a nice 60-degree cone. The bottom doesn't matter. I mean, if you wanted that to look fancy or whatever, you could move it forward and grind that all pretty, but pretty don't make it cut. I think Mr. Monaco talked about, I think he said that he has a very interesting video out there right now. It's at his club. Now, that's supposed to be 60 degrees on the nose, which I think I was a little bit off on that. No, a little bit off on it. But there again, he said about, forget what he was doing. He actually went back over to the grinder, moved the platform up a little bit. He says, this can be 65, 70 degrees if you need to make a tighter curve. And he said, you're going to do everything with one tool. And he also has a swept-back grind that he uses just as a bulk removal material tool. From there, he goes to this. Very small bevel. It's probably not even 1/8 of an inch in length. So the wings are the really challenging ones to actually measure.
Can't see what you're doing.
Well, that's
Thank
because I
you.
don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how I actually, there we go. Like I say, it's a pain to do the wings. So them wings there are pretty much about 40 degrees back. So that makes my 40-40 grind probably about the same. They might be back just a little bit more than the 40 degrees. Like I say, it really doesn't, that's just getting rid of material, just giving the place for the chips to go away on that. And then just taking, I will freehand to get rid of the heel and all that stuff. And if it's one of them situations like this little guy here, especially since I want it to be a very, very small bevel on it, I would do the heel. If it needs done, I will do that before I sharpen it, because I can almost always will go too far, but I just roll them back and forth like that. Do the one side, flip it over, go to do the other side. Makes it look kind of pretty in a way. Not that it doesn't, it doesn't matter. What matters is there.
Right.
So,
That's interesting. You grind the heel off first before you do the actual
well,
sharpening.
this is what you call, you can make enough mistakes. So when you're taking the heel off and you get up there too far,
Yeah.
and it's generally, that's why I say I do this side and then I flip it over and do this side, because if you think, oh, well, I did about that far, and you come over here and you come up the whole way and now you got to resharpen it
Right.
anyhow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't have to, you're not taking the heel off every time you sharpen it anyhow. Even
Yeah,
this one with
I'm
this,
gonna take that advice.
what's that? Take the heel off?
Yeah, before I sharpen. Yeah, I like that. Makes sense.
It just saves a little bit of time and aggravation,
Right.
because inevitably and either way you do it, some people like to just sit them up on there and roll them back and forth
Right. That's what I
like
do.
that.
Yeah.
I find it a little bit more controlled to do it here. I can see a little bit better. I mean, I don't want to stick my head
Right.
in, but I can get right over top of it and I can really see what I'm doing. But you
Yeah.
can't see what you're doing on the bottom side when you roll up. You can also do the same thing on the top side, but it just, the heel needs removed. I take it off ahead of time, usually, if I remember it. But that's it. So yeah, I don't know. With what I found with this, basically the same style as the 40-degree grind in the 60 degrees. I don't know that I'm going to keep using the 40, because it gets to be, to me, it sort of gets to be a pain,
Right.
by virtue of what it won't do for you.
Right.
Now,
The
on the outside of
limitations
a
on
bowl or something like that, the 40-degree
it. Yeah.
grind is nice, but I can tell you from trying to teach some people that have no clue what they're doing, I've handed a couple of them the 40-degree grind, and they don't want to, I'll go back over the lathe. They don't understand simple concepts of where the tool handle is going to go to. So if we were on the outside of the bowl and we were going to use our 60-degree gouge, the tool handle's over there. Do it without a handle. So the handle, if I'm on the bevel right there, the handle's going to be that far over. So now, this is a problem of having two of them that look alike. That's the 40. So now the same thing in the 40-degree is way over there.
Right.
That's without a handle on. So to try and teach somebody that handle has to be over there in no man's land to come around the corner, they kind of look at you like you have two heads or something or other.
Right.
Until you get them to do something that you want them to do. But so yeah, this teaching wise, the traditional 60-degree grind is pretty much what I have them use. I have not I have not handed one of them any of the traditional scrapers though.
Can you show
I've
us
done
your
some.
spear point?
My ugly spear point? Sure.
There's nothing ugly about that. It did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Well, yeah, it does. Let me take it out
I
of the
got an
handle.
ugly one too. I don't even have a
Well,
handle in mine.
What angle do you have that spear point ground at, Kirk?
60 degrees. I'm lazy. I'm lazy. Does it matter?
It's all about the presentation.
It doesn't.
No, it just looks more acute than mine. Is why I was asking.
It's 60 degrees because that platform right now is sitting on 60 degrees.
And it's
So it's
easy, right?
it's 60 degrees.
Right?
I'm not changing it. I'm looking for the other ones. I had it. I was going to say I knew I had it out.
Well, if you had baddies to set up blocks, you could change it quick.
Well, I'm not spending that kind of money for a little piece of, you know what? There again, you people that have the 3D printers, you need to go out there and find them. I'm trying to think who said about that. I think Cindy Droza talked about that a while back, that somebody that she knew was making simple setup blocks and 3D printing them, for pennies.
Yeah, there's a couple people doing it. Yep.
Right. Um, I don't know that these are all ground at 60 degrees. There again, if you watch Richard Raffin, he's talking about grinding them at 45 degrees. And I'm
Right.
like, it's a traditional scraper. Personally, what I was taught from day one, it really doesn't matter. As long as it's less than 90 degrees, it doesn't really make any difference. Now, there again, the longer that angle would be, the sharper this edge becomes. But now this guy, like I say, this guy here, I have not done anything with it where I lay it flat on the tool rest. Not at all. I have not done that. It also is curved. This is not straight. It's
Right.
curved on both sides. And
So
there
it's
again,
mine.
my curve is not exactly what you call professional looking compared to one that would be made by Robust or one of them. But I'm getting there. That's also being ground on an 80 grit CBN wheel.
As
So
long as it works, it don't matter.
yeah,
Right.
and he even talks about being able to use it like that, using the bevel and contact and rolling it up to that cutting edge. And I'm like, no, not me. I'm like, you can do that all you want. I know
Yeah,
what
that looks like a great
I
looks
know
like a
what
great
these
way to
things will do when they catch, when you do the wrong thing with them. Um,
Yeah, it'll make a violent catch.
the
Well,
other,
bottom line is do what makes you feel comfortable.
yes, correct. Correct. Now, the other one, and this is the one that um, Raffin uses all the time, and that Thomas, however you pronounce his name, same one.
Thomas
Once
Love.
again, see if I can read it, 8 by 30 by 200, Amazon. So I think less than $15, I want to say. It is a fair amount of work to make them, mainly because of the tang,
Right.
because I want it to fit into a 5/8 inch bar. Now, I'm a truck driver by trade, so I was talking with one of the trailer mechanics. I said, them cutoff wheels, will they cut that high speed steel easy enough? He said, oh yeah. So
Yep.
the last one I made, which was this guy here, which is thicker yet, because it's 8 mil thick. Laid one of my factory made ones on there, traced around it, took it outside in a little vise and literally cut little slits the whole way down through here, and then come back and cut them off. And then you still spend another quite a bit of time at the grinder, because once it gets to this size, then it will heat up pretty quickly. And I keep my fingers back in here somewhere. When my fingers get too hot, then I quit. Lay it on a table saw, or you could lay it on a lathe bed. Something steel, suck the heat away from them. And just to get it to fit into, I use the handles with a removable
Mm-hmm.
pellet on them. But this one, if you want to play with a scraper, the traditional scraper, this is the one, in my opinion. This is probably the most useful one, at least for me. You can use it flat, no problem, as long as it's at a downward angle. And there again, the downward angle on these, anytime I see anybody, when you tell them a downward angle, so there's pretty much flat. They want to go like this. Oh, it's got to be down. You see people using the carbide tools on resin and stuff like that, and I got the tool way up in the air, and I'm like, we don't need that. This doesn't want that. It only wants just a slight downward angle. If you set it on center, flat, raise the tool rest up about 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, that's it. That's all you need.
Hey, Kurt,
Flat,
can you put your tailstock camera on to show the folks this?
you can go both ways.
There we go.
I don't know if that'll show it any better or not.
Oh, it
That
does.
shows a pretty, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me put the handle on. I'll give you give you a little bit more of an idea.
Because a lot of people struggle with scrapers and understanding exactly what you're talking about now. And I appreciate you going into this.
So if it's flat, that's not going to show what we want to show. I don't think I can get this camera actually far enough away. I went the wrong way. So if it's flat and we're on center, which I'm not. So if we went up there a little ways, so that's pretty much, in my eyes, I'm still not quite up high enough. That would be flat, level with the bed. So it wants to be about there. So if we started out level, I took
You
my
shift
pencil.
shift the tailstock camera back in. We're missing the point of the tool to the wood right now.
I don't think, let me see if I can move it in a different angle. The other way.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. I don't normally have it back that far because I'll hit it with the tool handle. So
Right.
there we are flat, pretty close to center. And all I really want is about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch below center or of height difference. So that means I need to move the tool rest up that about that amount. And now on a little bit of a downward angle, could be just a shade bit more. A tiny little bit of a downward angle, and now it will cut clean across there.
Bob's your
Without
uncle,
a-
not necessarily
cool.
Mr. Broomstead.
So what was the size of that tool steel again?
Which
Kurt?
one?
The one you've
Most
got
of
there?
these, this one's 8 by 30 by 200.
Thank you.
That's millimeters.
Right, that's in millimeters. I
What was
have
the
one
other-
that would be a more of a bowl scraper type thing. The only difference making it a bowl scraper, it is 10 by 30. So it's thicker. It'll let you hang over the tool rest a
Right.
whole lot more. I don't use that one that terribly much. I don't necessarily feel that it does a wonderful bang up job. The other thing with this one, I forget what he calls it. Radius. It's got a nice general radius on it. So you only ever make contact with a little bit at a time. Tell you what, let me take this off. I think I have some little pieces of maple here.
The other scraper you had that both sides steel tip beveled in, the pointed one.
Yes.
What size steel was that? Was it the same thing, the 8 by 30 by 200?
Yep, 8 by 30.
Okay.
30 millimeters is, you got to Google that. So
That's okay.
technically it'd be like inch and 3/16 wide. 8 millimeters is a little less than 3/8.
But that's what
Something
you're
like
going
that.
to buy on Amazon anyway. Is
Right.
millimeter,
Right. You're buying all the millimeter stuff.
not.
Let me see if I have one of them.
Links in chat for those who want it.
Tossed in the imperial conversion as well.
Well, like you said, you're gonna go on Amazon to look for it, and you won't find it in imperial sizes.
No.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of them of stuff on there. Oh, not that one. I don't use the shark jaws that terribly often, so. We'll just do it the extra cheater way. Now this one probably won't fit in there. Shark jaws are kind of neat for certain things.
I love my shark jaws.
The only thing is you can actually make them bow. You put too much pressure on them. If you didn't know that. They will bend a little bit. But they are really good for certain things. And of course they're a little bit bigger than the rest. So first order of business, we'll clean this off. Probably could even maybe like true that up a little bit out there. This is a straight wing tool. That's the 60-degree straight wing. It doesn't, just because it's got a straight wing doesn't mean you can't use that wing just like you might use your 60-degree wing. You just have to keep in mind, I mean, it's only a 1/2-inch tool. That's still probably a 1/2 inch of wing that's exposed. So it's cutting that much at one time. So no, we don't want the bowl scraper. That won't do much for you. So piece of maple, there's actually even a little crack in there. So once again, we're back to our tool rest height. For me, I hold it level. So well, that's too much.
There you go, Dale.
Somewhere in about there. I don't necessarily have a good camera view of any of that. I'll tell you, yeah.
Now your tailstock view is good.
Move it one more time. We're gonna lose the closeness of it. No, that's no better. You want to actually see what it's doing. You'll just have to take, you'll have to take my word for it that the tool handle is slightly pitched down.
Down?
The nose has to be lower than the tail.
Yeah, okay,
Nose,
better.
tail. So as it's
Yeah.
down, it will come right straight across, like lovely little shavings. And this, of course, is end grain to go with it. That will be, should be clean and smooth, except for a crack that's there. The other thing you can do, you can use this on the outside of your bowl, flat. And once again, it's curved, so you never get more than about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch of cutting surface in any given spot on it. But it also has a fairly sharp corner that you can go right in beside the tenant or something along those lines. Get right in there and just literally, you're rolling it back around. Okay. I try not to, I don't try and go from bottom to top in one swipe. I just find it, here's where you're going to roll it back. Using it flat doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, but the more movement in your body you have, the more likely you are to drop the handle. And if you drop the handle on this, see here it's cutting. As soon as the handle comes down, comes up, and makes it level, it's grabbing a hold of it right there. And it will not release until it gets back to there. So the back, whatever this bevel angle. So if this is ground at 45 degrees, which would be way longer than this, it's going to dig in that far before it hits the back and releases. The first time I tried this, I have a bunch of little pieces of maple that were cutoffs. And I was going along here, I'm like, well, this is easy peasy. And whatever I did, I dropped the handle. I literally pulled the piece out of the jaws, threw it across the room, and it did not break the tenon. But it did it so quick it ain't even funny. Now, the other one is to drop the tool rest back down, and you can use it as their shear scraper. Now it's up on its side. That's why it's curved. My idea of a curve down here, it makes it slide. And we're going to use, it's just like your skew. You're going to use the bottom half of the tool and come across in a shear scraping, shear cutting, and that's the shavings that comes off of it. The same way with the spear point. I use this on the outside of a bowl probably quicker than I will use the spear point. But the spear point will let you get into tighter places.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great
Multitudes of them
surface.
to make. I have a whole drawer full of them. The other one he talks about using quite a bit is the square end one. I have two different versions of a square ended one. This one is what he considers his square end. That one is 8 by
You're out of camera
25.
view.
I got to read,
Got
so
it.
that's all. So this one is 8 by 25. So narrower. Once again, they call them straight. It has just a slight curve on it because you do not want to engage 3/4 of an inch. I think that's what they are. Now that's 1 inch wide. So if you don't,
Yeah.
if you engage that whole surface on something, it will be very aggressive.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't use mine often, but when I need it, it's perfect for the job.
Last year I made a whole bunch of lanterns, and this is where this little guy came into. It's not a radius, it's a sharp point here and curved down to the right. So when I want to go in and clean up that little bit where to get the stupid tea light to fit, this will go right straight in there without any issues at all. It's also
Yep.
ground on the side, which hindsight says now that was a mistake to grind the side because it doesn't need to be ground. The tip is what cuts. But when you hand this to somebody that doesn't know any better, it's now a cutting edge over here. They stick it in and they pull it towards them, and they have a really big hole in a really big hurry.
Yeah, if you're doing like a
Things go.
square box or a pencil holder or something like that, you want square sides, that's very useful for that.
Yes.
Or you're wanting to set your walls for threading. Yep.
Yeah. The only thing with using them, this would probably be easier if it had, let's use this one. It has a burr on it. And there again, a lot of them people talk about you got to go back, got to go to the grinder and put a new burr on it. Well, watch Richard Raffin. He just grabs his little hone and hones a tiny little burr back up on there, and they cut
Yep.
wonderful. But you can only do that a couple times before that little burr is gone. And unless you're some miracle person.
Or you got a 40-degree diamond card,
Say again?
you're removing. Or if you got a 40-degree diamond card and you're just removing that much of the bevel to raise that burr up each time.
So if we were doing a lidded box or whatever, this is just above, just a little bit of the handle is going underneath it. So I can go into the center point, pick it up. But this one will, because it's ground off on the side, I can use this in here and go straight down the wall. But if that's not ground on the side, the tool rest has to come up higher yet so that we're cutting well above center. And that gives it its relief that it wants to cut. It will also cut straight across the end as well, just like everything else. Very nice, especially on end grain. If you're doing lidded boxes or something like that, make one of these. It just saves you so much time because it cuts very, very cleanly down the walls. Not perfectly clean, but very clean. Any other questions? Comments?
Well, folks, the floor is open. If you have any further questions, comments on what Kirk is showing us here on the scrapers or the main demonstration project, the floor is open. Let's be respectful of each other and don't step
Can
on each other.
Can I show my scraper? I got a scraper I've had about 30 years. Can I show it?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me Let me bring you up here, Howard. Add you to the demo here. Here we go.
The only thing I say on the scrapers, let's go back overhead. It'll make more sense. Go ahead. I see it. Put it down a little bit further. Put
That's
the
a big
handle
one.
down between. Put
Howard,
your
move
handle
scraper
between your
down.
legs and show us.
Oh, you talking to me? I thought you was going
Yeah.
to show something else. Oh,
No, go ahead.
oh,
Put
I
your-
made this. I used to do lots of blacksmith and everything, so I made this scraper. It's a leaf out of a truck. I don't know if you can see, but anyway, I straightened it out and I got it tempered. I tempered it and everything.
Yeah.
About 15 years ago, I put a negative rake on it. It used to be just a regular
Right.
scraper,
Right.
but I got it sharp, and I don't know if you can tell very much about it. I
Oh yeah,
scraped
you can.
right down this edge here with a slight curve, of course, all the way around here. And boy, this thing, I got a slight burr. All I got to do is hone this up like this. And I got a slight burr on this thing. And
Yeah.
I can go right in there, put my elbow arm here on this for my leverage. I can go in there and come all the way up. And I've done bows, well, a vase type bow up to 12 inches. I can go right on down in there and come right on down. And I got a flat tool rest that I can turn and go on in there. So I can go right on in there
Plenty of
and
support.
work. And I can clean that thing up, no problem at all.
Right.
Right.
But this is high
made it-
carbon steel. It's
And you made that from a leaf spring.
leaf spring, yes. Of course, this is just a water pipe fit in here.
Right.
Yeah.
And, this was the post for front porch post on an old cabin that I tore down, and it's oak. I guess it's white oak. Anyway, I use that for the handle, so I turned that.
Yeah, it works.
Looks good, Howard.
But you don't have to spend any money,
Right.
to get a good scraper. And
Right. You can pick up a leaf out of a leaf spring at the junkyard for $10, $15, and you can make
Or less.
7 of those from a leaf
Or
spring
less. I
or
think-
less. Yeah. Right.
yeah, I think I paid like 75 cents for this, but this was way back in the 90s when I did that. So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
hammered it
inflation.
out, got it hard, heated it up and everything on my forge and straightened
Yep.
it out. So, but anyway,
I'm with
And
you.
pardon.
I said I'm with you. I totally get what you're talking about. I do that stuff too. Yep.
Yeah. But it works great. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find them on the side of the road if you live by any truck stops. They
Do what?
have Heavy. Leaf spring.
You're muffled. We
Someone
can't hear
talking,
you, sir.
we can't hear that. Yeah.
I said
Muffled.
if you live by a truck stop, you can.
Daniel, we can't hear you. Your microphone is like really muted. You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
I don't know.
also, this is real good for use if somebody comes to your shop and don't like your shop or, say something bad about you. You can walk.
Straighten them up.
Yeah,
Like upside the heat.
If somebody wants to come and take your wood.
right.
I like it.
It's a big decision maker thing,
Yeah, it is.
All right. So what else you got there, Kirk?
Well, one thing I was going to say is everybody needs a parting tool for one. Once again, this was more Amazon steel. I don't remember. I can't seem to find a size on these. These are, I'm going to say, are about a 1/2 inch wide,
Mhm.
7/16 wide, and I think they were 6 mil thick. This doesn't have metric on it. No. Something like that. But there were
3/8.
these No, these are only about 1/4 of an inch thick. They do have 3/8 ones too. But you bought 4 pieces of this for 20 bucks. So like I say, I don't like the ones that our woodcraft store has. So 2 of them got made into parting tools. I also made 2 little scrapers out of the same thing. These probably, if one of these days when I get so minded, I'll probably cut that one off, cut the tip of that one off, and turn these into parting tools as well. Because when they're that thin, they have too much flex to them. They'll want to chatter. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
you can't be more than about, you might
Right.
get a 1/2 inch, maybe an inch over the tool rest, and they want to chatter. But they make a wonderful parting tool for very inexpensive. I think I drilled a 1/2 inch hole in there, just filled it with epoxy, and
Right.
super simple. There again, it's
Yeah,
economical.
they're easy enough. Right.
Economical.
Economies of scale.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kirk. This is a great demo and a great discussion.